We're back for another week's exciting episode of Bluebird on your shoulder. As always, he never fails to disappoint. So we're going to open with why he wants Greenland. At least he's told the truth finally. So he's always made it about security and we should own it. There's a lot of talk about rare earth minerals and so on and so forth. And but the reality is, he's just mad at them because they didn't give him the fucking Nobel Prize. And so he wants Greenland. For that reason. Um, he actually did make an interesting speech at the World Economic Forum. Um, what was that, a couple of days ago?
In
And
Davos?
he,
Just yesterday, wasn't it?
In
uh,
Davos? Yeah.
yeah, that was. But he's probably pushing for the U.S. to acquire Greenland pretty hard. And it's a self-governing territory of Denmark, so it's Denmark, and then he threatened 10% tariffs because the EU didn't respond super well to that. They were kind of like, yeah, we're not going to do that. The EU has a lot of experience with hey,
Fascists?
you can't take our
Fascism, yeah.
country. Yeah. And kind of just letting them do their own thing, right? Um, so I think he just wants it to be Trumplandia. I think that's ultimately it. And they wouldn't give him the Nobel Prize, and he's so butthurt about that. Um, but he said he was going to throw 10% tariffs because a bunch of the EU countries started sending troops to Greenland because they're like, this fucking lunatic is actually going to try to like do it. So one of the really, really funny things going around TikTok right now is I didn't know Greenlanders had such humor,
Yeah, oh
but
yeah.
but
What else are they gonna do? It's a
well,
big
so
old block of ice.
they're making TikTok videos of like what Greenland will look like when they import it when they import the American culture, and it's
Yes.
like a bunch of fucking people acting like they're on the fentanyl shuffle. And they're doing the fentanyl shuffle, bro. I was crying when I saw that. But yeah, so he's said he's gonna tariff it, and then the EU leaders came out like it's unacceptable and it's coercive, right? And then our Congress and senators were like, yeah, you're not doing that. Like, we're not going to do that. We're not willing to let you do that. And it's just another like why I want to lose the midterms 101. It's like we're almost to the point where we don't have to try to figure out how to win the midterms because they are steadily doing everything to lose the midterms.
Yes.
Um, so the European Commission president, it's Ursula von der Leyen, I think is what you say. Von der
Yeah.
Leyen. I don't know why they're lying, but maybe. Said the sovereignty of Denmark and Greenland is right, and that if they use tariffs as leverage, that's just not going to be acceptable. And the EU is like an extremely wealthy
Yeah.
consumer market. Like that would be really bad if they stopped
Oh,
buying
it's
American
I think
products.
I read that it's like 37% of our export market.
Well, they basically insinuated that they would just go elsewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean they're happy to make a deal with China. Biding their time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, they're just putting a foothold on being the next, best world leader. Because
Yeah.
if he's just going to keep implementing tariffs, they're just going to go get it elsewhere.
Yep.
And then that's, if they got 37% of goods and services to us and we lose that, that will cripple us. That's a massive percentage.
Oh, I mean anything that severely disrupts our export market is going to cripple the US economy.
Right. Well, if enough countries are going to go to China for shit, then China's basically going to say, screw the USA. We're going to not deal with them anymore and deal with this whole other part of the world that we didn't have before.
Yep.
And that means we lose out on, I don't know if people realize, 90% of medication that we get comes from China. That means a whole lot of dead Americans overnight.
Yeah, that's maybe what they want. So I think one of the other
A
interesting,
whole lot of like another large percentage of that also comes from um what's the country? Denmark. Like they make a lot of our insulin.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So it is really interesting. I think one of the other really interesting points I saw, which was kind of shocking at a moment, and then he finished a statement. So it's like the EU's head general. I don't remember exactly who what his name is, but like the general that leads the EU army, which probably an amalgamation of all these countries' armies. He said one good thing has come out of this, that finally all of the EU countries realize that we have to take our own defense serious.
Yes.
That they
Yeah.
can't just continue to rely on America, because what if they bail out, right? So
Yep.
they also have absolutely said, more or less without saying the words, of those Buddhists the fuck out of NATO.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
the problem is if Trump keeps on down this path, the the validity of NATO is going to fall apart anyways. The UN is going to fall apart, and they their effectiveness will go from the small amount that we do have to zero. And when we can't rely on the UN to, help out with security um and distribution of aid to the world, then a lot of people are going to die.
Well,
yeah.
the people he's trying to get involved in this new peace board that I'll talk about later is basically everyone who's not in the UN anyways.
Yeah, all the
Yeah, we'll talk
dictators
about.
and
Yeah, we'll get
Those are
into
his,
that later.
those are his role models. So but then he did announce the framework of the deal. So we got concepts of ideas, frameworks of deals. Still waiting on that healthcare plan that was going to be out 2 weeks later. Like
Oh,
couple.
the framework of the deal that the guy, that leader that you were talking about from the EU, said that, or that he met with in Greenland, said that there was no paperwork signed, there is no deal in place, and it wasn't even talked about.
yeah, yeah.
Well, no, because it's the framework. It's a concept. It's the concept of an idea, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
like
he claimed that that the path towards owning Greenland had been set.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
there was
in
something
his
said
mind.
that
Yeah.
what he had proposed, I think I sent it to you guys, of what he had proposed was already the deal from 1951. So again, he's doing this like, oh, we're going to do this, but it don't work out. So then we're going to settle on this number as what it was originally, like he was doing with tariffs a couple months ago. And then it looks like he got something done.
Well, and then he did it the same thing again with the whole EU threat thing.
Yeah.
Like threaten them, markets plunged. What, like I think we lost 3% or something like that.
Yeah, it
And
was, I forget how many points. It was a massive amount.
yeah, and it's all rebounded already
Of
because he
course.
announced that, oh, never mind, we worked something out.
Well, like
No,
you
so
So
Brian said,
honestly, I
market
think ultimately,
manipulation
yeah.
once again.
So that's what I
yep,
think it is, right? I think it's
yep,
ultimately market manipulation, and the billionaires are making more billions, bro.
Yep.
Like
yeah.
I think it's absolute market manipulation across the board. Um, I think that's the effort, right?
Right.
So, like, yeah, so we had what 2 days ago, we had a 676 low in the SPY, and then we bounced to yesterday, we had a 679, or sorry, 688 high. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a 16-point move
Right.
in the SPY. So that's quite a large move in the Dow and so on and so forth. So a 16-point move, if you position your money right in the morning, knowing he's going to say something like that in the afternoon, and you position your money correctly, you make stupid
Yeah.
amounts of money. Like you get 7, 8, 9,000% returns. And you make it in a few hours, and then it just bloop, 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 and then you get all the new write-offs. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
really interesting stuff, right? Really interesting. I do ultimately that what's going to be my close is I think this is just another ice is a fear tactic, and a look over here, and Greenland is a market manipulation tactic,
Yep.
and kind of a crybaby, whiny ass shit. And then there's billionaires making a bunch of money, and then all the tax write-offs and the big beautiful bill that really
And say
don't
it's
help
all
the
it's
average person. Some of them do, but don't have the average. So, but yeah, we are to
it's all
W two time.
it's all smoke and mirrors what he's doing so that him and his rich cronies can fleece America.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Does anybody know where that 500 million went that of the Venezuelan oil that we
I
sold?
sure do. I have it on a topic to talk about it. It's into a Qatari account that he controls, which is
Yeah.
absolutely fucking illegal.
I want a Qatari account. Um, all I got is a Guitar Hero account. But
Yeah.
anyway,
And anybody remember how much that plane was worth?
Yep, sure do. Got that in here too.
so yeah, no, so these are all really interesting, right? So, but we are to W two time, and I'm getting a lot of questions because W twos look really different this year. There's a lot
Yep.
of thing in the other box. Then people don't really understand what it is. So, but I know you were going to talk about taxes and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
tax time,
So
and I
for
know you have like
2020,
87 things to put up on the screen while you do it. So,
well,
Only 84.
I decided that I'm not going to put those news articles up, but the links will be in the um
he says they're going to be in the comment section, but that's if I remember to put them
Yeah, fair.
okay, they will be available through Ryan if they're not
there.
if they're not in the comments section. All right,
Nice.
so basically we're getting a bump in standard deduction up to 16 for singles, 32 for married, and 24,000 for heads of household. That's me. And then
Wait, how much did you say for head of household?
24, 24 150.
Okay, I already filed mine. It said like 23,662 or something like that was the
Hmm.
standard. Close enough. It's a couple $100, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Then income thresholds, 22% bracket now begins at 50,000 for single filers, 100,000 for married. Top 37% bracket starts at 640,000 and 768 for married. Um, that kind of gives you the a good range for where normal Americans are. Um, and then your SALT deduction um, cap has been increased from 10 grand to 40 grand. So that is a nice shift. Um, that's going to help me out a lot as a 1099 business owner. Um, and then there's a $6,000 additional deduction for seniors 65 and older. And then the provision for the tipped workers. Let's see, I need to look up that other spot for to go
the,
over that. Um,
the
Yeah,
no tax on
I know
25K
they
and
were
tips.
saying overall across the board your refund should be bigger than last year, but they made
yes,
it seem
but
like it was going to be much bigger, and it's like a couple $100.
yeah, it's a couple $100 because all right, so the average reduction in your tax liability is going to be three grand. Okay, what that translates to in a return is $60.
Yeah,
So, um,
something like that.
yeah, so you're just not what it's talking about doing for people is not going to be as great as it seems. A lot of the major benefits are for corporations, specifically things like, um, EV tax credits, green initiatives, and stuff like that. All of those are for corporate entities only. The deductions for and rebates for the homeowner have run out as of this past year. Um, and then let's see what else. The so there's in the links there's information on how the tax on tips and the overtime deductions work. They are only deductions this year, but the IRS is looking at whether or not they're going to be able to translate those into your tax withholding. What is that? W-9? Right.
Oh,
I
well,
know.
the
You're thinking
W-9
of
is
an
what you fill out when you
I-9,
first
bro.
get hired.
Yeah, the
No,
I-9.
the W. Stop it. It's an I-9 and it's a
Yeah.
W-4.
It's a
W for that, yeah,
W-2. It's a
yeah.
W-2. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But the I-9 is the I-9 taxes?
Yes,
No,
it's
I thought the
I thought the
I-9 was the
I-9 was
identification
citizenship.
stuff. Yeah.
oh no.
The
So
W-4 is your personal information and your what you want deducted from your
okay,
check.
so the
Yeah.
W-4. So yeah, the
Yeah.
W-4. Hey.
So, but no, so actually I can, so it's the one good thing I will say, there's been a movement in the restaurant industry. I can speak very, very cleanly to this, that a lot of companies now do tips on card.
Yeah.
So credit card tips aren't paid out by the restaurant in cash at night.
Right.
So they're paid out on card, which subjects them to um complete
Being taxed.
taxation.
Yeah.
Right, which I'm not against. I'm not going to get into all the
Nope.
ways that the industry didn't pay their taxes for a really long time. So,
Guilty.
but I'm all for it. We're all guilty in this room.
Yep.
So that's not true. I always claim like 80%. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
That's how I bought my first house.
Yeah, you're a weirdo. But they're going to, so they're seeing a lot of taxation. And what that's helping is that they're actually paying taxes and they don't owe these huge amounts at the end of the year. And I've seen a lot of audits happen where like bartenders owe like 20, 10, 16 grand because they're making cash. So now that's going and they're also being able to pay their garnishments. But what I do like about the deduction for no tax on tips, it's 25K. It's a 25K deduction and it stacks. So it stacks on top of the standard deduction. So it's not in lieu of, and if you have overtime, that also stacks.
So you're saying you get the
So,
standard deduction of the
yes.
24K and then the 25K on top?
Actually,
getting...
yes.
Maximum annual deduction is $25,000 for self-employed. Deduction may not exceed individual's net income without regard to this deduction from the trade or business in which the tips were earned.
No, 100%. So I've actually done her taxes this year. I did them for her the other day, and she did not get the full deduction because it would have been more than she made.
Right.
But she had zero federal taxable income this year. So all of the money they did take out in her taxes, she did get back. So she got full refund on all the money she paid in because the deductions did stack.
Right.
So, and the overtime also stacks. But for it to all be viable, you are correct. You would have to make over 49 and a half on paper, so that's the most they're going to let you get. You're not going to get the full 50.
Right. Well, and to go into the no tax on overtime, it's only for the, like, if you're making time and a half on overtime, it's only for the half. So it's not the overtime amount. It's only the portion over your regular
extra
hours.
time.
Oh, I know. Because it took me forever to figure out box 14 for my hourly managers.
Yeah. And that is only $12,500.
Yeah, so but they do, I like that they stacked, and I think it will help that industry save some money, and they also pay, I have to give credit where credit's due, but I also think it's horseshit that you did do this super cool thing and then you made it expire as soon as you leave office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of like your tax cuts. So that when it bounced back up and people were making less money on your check, you could blame the other guy.
Yep. That's exactly what their strategy is.
Oh no, for sure. So it's very good. But yeah, that one little portion of this taxation, I have so much.
It wouldn't be no thing for
with.
the new guy to extend that though, so it don't fall on him.
Now, because not if you don't control Congress, can't extend it.
Well,
Exactly.
that's true.
So so really interesting stuff there, but yeah, most of it is corporate windfall, and those cuts are permanent,
Yep.
and they don't expire. So everything in the BBB that's corporate side or rich people side is permanent, and it
Yeah.
doesn't have an expiration. All of the deductions, current deductions that help out the working class,
Yep.
expire.
You mean the
Yep.
99% of the country?
Correct.
Yep.
Well, what?
Yeah, like
So
Nah,
I,
90%. I think it's
I mean,
90%.
I sit in the pay everything bracket. So it's like I don't get the biggest chunk taken out, but pound for pound, I get more of my disposable taken away.
sure.
So like this is the first year she like paid, super amount of taxes because the tips on card the whole year, and you know what I'm saying, blah blah blah. And she doesn't like taxes anymore. And then
The bitch getting old.
yeah, but then I was like, well, here, let me show you my final check stub. She's like, you paid how much in federal tax? I'm like, yeah.
Right.
Like,
Which is
Yeah,
why they complain about it.
try being a 1099.
I
Been
don't
there
even
for
want to
eight
know.
years.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think one of the really interesting things going on that's like a side note to this topic is he is saying he's going to send out the $2,000 tariff checks, and he's not going to take Congress to do it, which I don't know if he can do that or not. I have no
Can't.
idea the legality of that. I assumed he couldn't because it's him. But then there's the part where they are really trying to like figure out how to eliminate income tax and like rising like sales tax and commerce tax to cover, and then the tariffs and then this and that. And I don't hate that concept. I don't see how it works. I don't think it's viable, but I don't hate the
So
concept.
so so the problem with the getting rid of income tax is that you do have to raise taxes on everyday goods. So
Correct.
so that will disproportionately hurt those people who are on the lower end of the earning spectrum
Well, why would they?
because 100% of what they earn goes into the economy, where
Correct.
when you look at those that have larger wealth, more of theirs goes into saving and or into
Investments.
diversifying their portfolios.
Yeah, like
So
a really good example of the difference of what that does is it takes, like Florida has zero state income tax. So
right.
they got to make up that money somewhere else. So the
Tourism and tolls.
Yeah.
and $8 gallons of milk.
Yeah.
It's not that much.
Shit.
I'm down there all the time. So I'm down there all the time.
You're not by
Uh,
Disney though.
I'm in Miami, bro.
Yeah.
Kind of Disney with hula
Tomato
dancers. No,
tomato there.
yeah. So, but no, I think I like the concept because I do and have and will forever always hate that. Like I pay my taxes and then I get taxed on money that I already paid to
The
buy
biggest
things,
Ponzi scheme in world history.
and then it gets taxed again.
Well,
And then if I am to sell something at a large value, I got to pay tax on that too. And then if I make enough money that I have money to leave people, I pay tax on that too.
Yep.
no, you
And
just
they,
no, you just gotta do it the way that the rich people do.
well, I'm
Yeah.
not okay. Yes, there are ways to do it, right? But your average Joe doesn't know that way, so they spend their because they don't teach you this stuff in
Yeah, there are
school.
loopholes written in these laws for a reason.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for
Just
rich
not
people,
for
not
us.
for a reason. Yeah, for
Well,
that,
if
not
they would
for
if they would
us.
close those loopholes, then we wouldn't have to, add all
Well,
of those
no.
taxes to everybody. But yeah, I mean your realized tax rate, that's what the salt deduction is good for, is that all of your sales tax and all of that stuff, that gets put into that salt deduction.
Yeah.
So based off of your income and how much deduction you can take for that, it makes up for the amount of taxes that you pay in sales tax and whatnot.
Well,
So
I mean, the way to stop to get them to close the loopholes or not have them is to teach this shit in school and let the poor people do it.
Or you just have a straight tax rate. Like,
A flat tax? Well, we're not getting
well,
into this
I mean,
conversation.
I mean, so you have a flat tax graduated rate. So, your first 20,000 you don't pay taxes on, and then from 20 to 50, 10%, 50 to 100, 20%. If you just did it that way, then at that point, states and everybody could do their sales taxes, and that would be the portion of the economy where states dictate their own economy, um, and then they could work out their budgets based off of that money. So
Right.
I think that
You
that
should
is
you should be
the
an
best way
economist.
to, huh?
Yeah, that's a really not a bad idea, and kind of
No.
goes along with what they've been trying to do as far as give it back to the states, let the states do it. It's actually a really
Well,
good
that's
idea.
that's what sales tax is. Sales tax is ran by the state.
Yep.
So, um, income tax is federal.
Right.
So,
Except for gases, because gas has a federal tax on it too.
it does have a federal
So
tax on it, but that's for imports, for the import and whatnot. Again, that's just shit that
wait,
companies decided to separate out and
Yeah,
divvy out to everybody
so
so that
you're
they didn't have to
saying that
pay.
80%
we
of the cost of gasoline in Indiana is state and local
taxes?
taxes, though. Yeah.
Well, hold on. I don't know about it. So there's a federal tax on gasoline for importing reasons because we don't use our own oil for our own gas? No.
Never have, never will.
Oh, but we're energy independent.
Yep.
All right. All right. All right. I
Just
digress.
letting
I
you know.
digress. I digress. I digress. Yeah, I digress. That's all. I was just what? So yeah, so no, some interesting stuff. And we'll see
Oh,
how it goes.
one
Well,
last one last thing that I forgot to add in. No tax on car loan interest is a decent one. You got a deduction of up to $10,000 for car loan interest, and then with your mortgage interest being able to be deducted, that's really nice for people who need to have those loans. So that is something that the everyday American will benefit from.
Yeah,
wait,
but
hold
you
on.
could only
I
claim
can
those
deduct my
deductions if you
car loan?
itemize. If they don't equal more than
Not
the
your,
standard, then you're not using them.
huh?
Correct.
I said you can
Oh,
only use those deductions if they add up to being more than the standard. Otherwise, you don't use them.
right. And that's where like all of these listed out, it looks really, really good. But
Right.
for 60% of Americans, they don't get to use them, even if they qualify for them.
Well, you
Well, that's
also
because he
forgot
gets
to,
his dumbass, uneducated base all riled up and excited about it because they don't fucking realize they can't use it.
Exactly.
bro, because red crayons taste like cherries. Duh.
No,
So
and Ryan, it's the interest, not
no,
not the
no, I
car
know.
payment. So,
Bro, I know. They made me put my mortgage interest in, they made me put my
mhm.
car loan interest in, and
Yep.
then actually the medical, what you pay out of
Yep.
pocket for medical expenses you can put in, and it didn't, the standard deduction was still better for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now next year that might not be the case because I'll pay a lot more in interest because it won't just be a few months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A few months
Yeah.
of and now I'm paying interest on two car loans.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
funsies. But
for
anyways,
most people, unless you have like astronomical medical debt, like the last probably 5 to 10 years of my father being alive, I know they itemized because of the amount of money they were kicking out for his medical debt. Like, so
no, there's areas where it could make a lot of sense, right?
yeah.
So, um, all right, at the end of the day, there's an interesting reality there. All right, so NWO, huh? You're going to talk about the New World Order. We're doing a New World Order again. I read about this in like the 90s by William Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse. He talked to me about this.
Yeah, and
So,
I'm not talking
Yep.
about the NWO that involved Hulk Hogan and those guys either.
I knew
Man, that's
you were
what
gonna
that's
bring
all I
up.
can
I
hear
knew
too.
you were gonna bring up
Of course.
wrestling, dude.
That's
But
all
yeah,
I
I'll get
can
to
hear.
that in a
Every
minute.
time somebody says NWO, I'm like, what does wrestling have to do with anything? Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
I
I'll
need
get
to
to
read
that in a
books.
minute. That's I just got some key points that I wanted to talk about. So we'll start off with corruption. And I just wanted to bring up the Epstein files again, seeing how they've kind of went by the wayside the last few weeks, and that for one, the deadline has passed for them to be released. It's been reported that they have only released 1% of the total documents, and there's still close to 2 million documents to be released, and that the Trump DOJ today dismissed that deadline, and the GOP just kind of shrugged their shoulders at it and said, we did our part of what we needed to do. If we don't have to release them, we're not going to release them. Move on to the next thing. And then my other thing was the obvious ongoing cover-ups of crimes that the ICE agents are committing.
Jesus, yeah.
It's just getting worse and worse each day. Today they snatched up a 5-year-old boy.
It wasn't today, but it was yesterday or 2 days ago. It
Oh,
just
I
hit the
saw it
news.
today. I guess
It just hit the news today.
The
It hit
news
the
hit
news
today.
Okay.
because it had to be, it was put in a report, and then it was ran up the chain.
Snatched up a doctor. They because she protested at a church where that pastor is a known KKK member, I believe, and is supposed to be a high-ranking ICE official.
Well, that makes sense.
So they were protesting, so they went and waited on her at her apartment and arrested her. Because apparently you're not supposed to say no to these people. And then they also snatched up a San Francisco Giants baseball player who, they're only here on, they have a contract. I'm sure they have a work visa, possible dual citizenship because they're here 9 months out of the year, if not longer. And now they're going into Maine, another Democrat state where there's hardly any immigrants because they're all down south, like we talked about last week. So they're just really cherry picking where they go. It's just, it's just absolute manipulation. It's crazy to me. And then, as you mentioned, the Venezuela oil that we went in and stole and then sold for $500 million that he so conveniently moved to a Qatari account that he controls.
To me, that's just nut. Like, and the fact that nobody's really talking about it.
Yeah, because if he controls it, who's to say what he does with it when he leaves office? That very well could just as easily end up being in his pocket.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean could?
Yeah, right.
It will.
Well, and
I could wake up white
we've now intercepted and taken 7 tankers. So
yeah, I saw we just took another 12 total, I think. But we stopped killing fishermen. I mean, drug smugglers. I mean,
have we? Or are we just not reporting
they stopped
on it?
reporting on it at least.
because Greenland.
Yeah. Well, right?
Yeah. You mean Epstein land?
Look over here.
Yeah.
So I think one of the really interesting. So let me course correct you on one thing. So it's actually 4 people arrested, and they're talking about trying to arrest Don Lemon too. So they
didn't see something about that.
So they didn't just protest the preacher; they stormed into the church during service on Sunday, in the middle of service, and started screaming at parishioners. So they're actually arresting them under a law that you can't impinge somebody's right to worship.
Freedom of
religion. So it's not quite that constitutional, but it's in that vein. So that's why they arrested the people. But out of the people they arrested, there's the girl you were talking about who's super well known and super anti-ICE.
Probably
But it's
shouldn't have been an ICE agent that arrested them.
yeah, there was probably also well, yeah, because they're not supposed to have policing powers.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't have
that too.
policing powers.
That seems to be not true. And then
That's not
three of
policing powers.
Yeah.
three of the other dudes are actually combat
Proper powers.
veterans. So there seems to be a large swath of combat veterans showing up to the protests in Minneapolis. So I've seen that a lot. I
Yeah,
actually saw
I've seen some interesting articles and videos about guys coming out and what they're looking like. A lot of right wing guys are trying to talk about these out acting like they're hard asses, but really if you take a hard look at their gear, they're they're tricked out, and the way that they're moving, it looks like a lot of them are spec ops and stuff like that.
Nice.
it's really interesting. So I also think it's I like that we're talking about ICE because fuck ICE, dude. So they
Yeah.
did get. I wasn't going to bring it up today because I don't really want to talk about it, but you brought up ICE, and I have to. That they a memo went out that
Mhm.
you can on an administrative warrant force entry,
Yeah.
which would be a complete and clear violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
Like not even kind of. So that's a memo though. Like when did a memo from a department overrode the Oh yeah,
You didn't get that memo.
in
Yeah.
1933 USA. That's
Yeah.
wrong country.
The Fourth Amendment also says that you can very much use your Second Amendment to defend your castle too. So to me, that says if they're actually going to do that, there's going to be a whole lot of dead, at least severely injured ICE agents.
That's why they're not going to do it.
Not a lot. They're only going to let it happen once or twice, and then they're going to use that to
insurrection
declare martial law. That's what all of this is leading up to.
Correct. But see, I want to say you're right. I want to say you're right, but it's going to happen so much faster if you do it in a state that actually has a castle doctrine.
Yeah.
So Minnesota doesn't have a castle doctrine. Now they did rush into Maine.
Yeah.
And Maine is known to be pretty fucking woo-ha.
Yeah.
So
well, most northern states are a lot freer with having firearms in the home.
They have to be because of the wildlife.
Hunters. Yeah. So you would think that I'm willing to bet that they thought that Minneapolis would be a good place to get that to happen.
Maybe you're right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, we've already come close, right? We've already murdered a United States citizen. We shot another United States citizen. We kidnapped a United States citizen. Well, we kidnapped lots of them, but we kidnapped a 5-year-old.
Yeah, 5-year-old.
A 5-year-old. We kidnapped a child.
To bait the parents into coming outside.
Correct. Yeah. And you fuckers actually came outside. He opened and he came outside. So
I mean, what would you do if they had your child, though?
I don't know. I know what we did when they had
coming out,
but
right?
I'd be coming out with weapons.
Yep. Yeah, I know what they did when they had my friends.
Fair,
right?
So, anyways, the moral of the story here is they kidnapped a kid, dude. So, really interesting stuff, and I'll revisit. Like I said it last week, even Joe Rogan has come out to say it's Gestapo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he very much did.
And like he used the words because it is. It's like, show me your papers, and now I can raid your house, and I can just raid any house because I suspect you of doing this, and this will go quickly to the Supreme Court, I'm sure, if they try it. And I don't think the Supreme Court's going to. We're back on a trend of the Supreme Court not backing them up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, not really though. Like a lot of it was procedural stuff again.
It's all procedural.
Yeah.
Well,
it's all procedural. We're not in actual session yet.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they're indicating that they are going to go against him on what was it that they were looking at? I'm sorry, guys, my brain's fried.
They were talking about taking up some argument for, or to hear an argument for some. It was on the tip of my tongue, and they said that they're not going to. That was earlier this week. But yeah, they're not in session for a couple more months, right? Like springtime.
Yeah, so major decisions come down in June.
Okay.
They'll start hearing arguments soon.
Tariffs. So they're
like if he actually has to go through Congress or not. That's what it was. Yeah.
Right. And from what people are hearing, it's looking like they're going to rule against the president on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Which then would be we have to pay back all those tariffs.
Well,
if those are deemed illegal, they have to be paid back.
That depends on whether or not Congress can scramble and put something together.
In like a spending bill or something.
Yeah, legalizing it.
All right. So then my next point was, I'll call it flattery. And I also said, AKA president for sale. So the jet from that he got from Qatar, $96 billion business deal with Boeing, that the taxpayers are footing over $1 billion of to retrofit the jet. And it has also been documented that accepting a gift like that violates Constitution's foreign emoluments clause, which forbids officials from accepting gifts from foreign states without congressional approval, which happened. The next example of a president for sale was the Nobel Peace Prize that he just got from Machado, who during his last campaign was an avid Trump supporter and was rumored to have donated millions of dollars to his campaign. And I just want to go off of that. Just because she gives you a Nobel Peace Prize that she got does not make you a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Just like if Tom Brady decides to give anybody a Super Bowl ring, does not make you a Super Bowl champion.
My son's gonna send one of his Taekwondo medals to the White House.
Yeah. So, and the reason why I bring that up is because she was a huge. So to me, it's he probably already knew somehow she was going to win the Nobel Peace Prize, and because she was a supporter of his, I really feel like that invasion was here's my gift back to you, because it wasn't the fucking swag bag she got.
Well, I mean, the FIFA guy blew him off real good and gave him some fucking award.
Oh, yeah, the FIFA World
the FIFA
Cup
Peace Prize or
Prize.
something. Yeah, like, dude, at this point, it's like some kind of weird fucking, like, how do you appease the kid in class? Let's sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, and learn something. No, I think you're right. I find an interesting parallel there that like he like, you should give me that. Like, it'd be really cool if you give me that.
Well, and the fact that he sent that letter saying, this is because you didn't give me the Nobel, like, that's just nuts.
Yeah,
it's not.
I understand like, if you're trying to do business with the rest of the world or secure protections and things like that, like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. But this is I stroke my ego and make me look good, and I'll reward you with something.
More like, let me stroke my ego all over your face, and then maybe you can pay me some money too, and I'll say something nice about you.
So you said it really interesting. You said it's shocking. 10 years ago, it's shocking. It's not shocking anymore.
No,
right? And that's like they were like, "Oh my god, he sent this letter," and I read the letter, and I'm like, "What do you mean? He talks like that every single fucking day,
every day."
So I saw something really interesting. It was Jon Stewart. I'm pretty sure who that is. He's a late night guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he lives in a MAGA country, like wherever he lives. I don't know. He lives in a MAGA country.
That's all over America, if you ask them.
He lives in New York.
Yeah.
So probably
Jon Stewart for the Daily Show, or are you talking about Stephen Colbert?
It wasn't Colbert. It's feel like it's not Stewart either. Whatever, one of the fucking guys, dude. But if he does live in New York, then it's probably Long Island because that's very MAGA. So he was talking about like you could go into the deli and they would just razz him the whole time he was in the deli, right? Like, oh my God, what about the auto pen? Or oh my God, you supported a vegetable. And he goes, now I go in the deli and they're just like, hey, how you doing? What would you like on your sandwich?
Eh,
Because
eh,
even they, and he said outwardly, he's like, I'm hearing this from other people too, that there's parts of this country where you would expect them to be like, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, so my son actually owns a barber shop in a suburb of Buffalo, New York that is, you may as well just say they voted it was as dark red as you can get. Like, I'm pretty sure it was probably extremely close to 100% Trump County. Um, and he said for years, like, these guys would come in and blah, 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 and fuck Biden, yada, yada, yada. And he said now they don't even talk politics.
because you can.
You
Because
right,
how the
yeah.
fuck do you?
And the funny
Like,
thing is well, it's not funny. It's sad is that they go, well, I didn't vote for this and I didn't think it'd be like this. And it's like, we've been trying to tell you for the better part of a decade now that it would be exactly like this.
Yeah.
I feel that, and I've said that myself 100 times, and I want to believe it, right? But I've really, really realized that like red crayons taste like cherries. You can't tell them anything because they don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And now they're living it and they do understand because it's the only way they learn. So I'll take it. And my biggest fear is that everything we're doing, you're saying martial law, and I think you're right. I think it's all in an effort to get to martial law, but I don't think it's in an effort to get to martial law for martial law's sake. I
No.
think it's an effort to get to martial law to eliminate elections.
Right.
Yep.
And he's
Which
come
he's
out and
already
said
Or at
that
floating
least
out
to
shit.
there
be able
about
to
the
Yes.
control the
midterms.
election.
Yeah, so he's
So
doing that thing, right? So you first heard about Greenland 8 months ago,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
now the push is actually happening. He just says a couple of weeks ago for the first time, well, we shouldn't even have elections. We're doing so great. What's
Yeah.
in 8 months?
Yep.
Yep. Midterms.
It's literally
Yeah.
sorry, for me, crayons taste like crayons, and I can see the pattern.
Yeah.
I've done such a good job. We shouldn't even have a midterm election.
Literally what the fuck he said.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
shouldn't even have the midterms. And then there's still people supporting, like
Yeah.
openly, outright supporting this man. And I do notice on the Twitter sphere that the amount of talking heads is shrinking.
Yeah.
And I've verified that's not just algorithm.
Yeah.
Because
I
I've
think
went to
that.
some of the old talking heads that used to be really, really, really popular.
Yeah.
They're not saying
Well,
a
I
whole hell
mean,
of a lot.
Yeah. They've moved on.
I think it speaks volumes when today it was today or last night his updated approval rating came out and it's the worst that it's ever been. Like it just keeps going further and further south.
Yeah, like 32% or something crazy.
Yeah.
I think if we have fair and free elections in November, that we will see impeachment. And I think he knows that.
He's already said. I mean, he literally said it.
Yeah, but I don't
Guys,
think
we
like,
can't lose the
he said if they
midterms.
win, they will impeach.
They'll impeach
Okay.
me and lock me up.
So yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, and
So
yeah,
like I'm pretty sure that's
with
also factual.
especially with the ruling that the judge made about his presidential immunity, that they finally decided that it does only protect him from presidential actions
Right.
while he is in office.
And if it's anything outside of the scope of what is allowed to be done by a president,
Which mean
Right.
if he ain't dead from being old and not in good health,
And McDonald's.
prison's probably fucking inevitable.
I think that the best we can hope for is that he will flee the country, honestly.
So I did see somebody the other day. He's a right wing military Potter. He was very pro Trump. He's very not pro Trump. The Epstein files pushed him over the edge.
Okay.
The lack of, you know what I'm saying, other things too, but definitely that was like the straw that broke the camel's back or really threw him. And it's the like I think the judges are in the same vein. You're doing all these things, you're setting all these precedents. You think when we retake power that we're not going to go after you legally,
Right.
actually legally.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you have Christy Nome, the Bonanza Bazooka Barbie, out here trying to talk, and she can't. She was a governor.
Bird-legged hoe.
So listen, they got some. They got some cute ones. I'll give them that. But like, you don't hear from the crazy one out of Colorado very much anymore. She went
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
MTG completely fucking was like, "Boop."
Yeah.
Um, so like you are seeing some large scale fuck offs.
Yeah.
And
Not
I've
enough though, because the
no, they won't. They should
who was
impeach
it?
him now.
The Republican led House just blocked
Yep.
the effort to limit his war powers in Venezuela.
Yep.
Technically, he's already gone against what is it? His war powers,
He
because
has 90 days.
he can only wage war for so long
90
before
days.
Congress has to approve it.
Yeah.
And he declared war. He declared war against the cartels and
He
mobilized.
also said that Putin was born in 53 and fought in World War II.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he actually declared war. Like, he signed paperwork
Oh,
declaring war
Oh,
in order
really?
to
I did not know
mobilize
that.
our military. At that point, we are at war. So
fair enough. Okay, fair enough. That's, I mean, I'll accept that. Like, fair
Yeah.
enough, But I'm just like, nothing shocking from the guy who
oh
talked
yeah,
about
yeah,
how
none of this is
important the
shocking. Yeah.
airplanes in the Revolutionary War were.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not shocking. It has nothing to do with him at this point. Like, nothing that Trump does shocks me. It's everybody that,
The response to it.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
everybody's, like, oh well, or they're enabling him, like the Supreme Court, the Congress. Like, these are the checks and balances that are supposed to stop him from being crazy. And
Right.
it's worked before. Like, before, we've had crazy presidents. We've had presidents whose wives were running the country while he was unconscious. We've had presidents that couldn't walk. We've had ones that were asleep, but we had checks and balances that kept them in between the lines, and we don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right, let me hop into this last topic before we get into the NWO, hypocrisy. I guess the hypocrisy of the whole administration. The latest being Greenland and supposedly having a deal when we already talked about that there is essentially no deal in place. Other than the one that's already there since 51. But I just, when I was writing this all out, I was like, there's all these things that he's doing that they were bitching about the Biden administration doing. I was like, so let me jot these down. Profiting off the presidency. They were all about Hunter Biden, looking to Hunter Biden and his foreign deals and how much money has he made, yada, yada, yada. This administration alone this year has made $2 billion, and Trump's children this year, well, this first year of the administration, has made around $640 million. And then they want to tout that they're the party of law and order, but how many J6 pardons has he done? He complained that the Biden administration was weaponizing the DOJ against him, but he's doing this to people who simply say something negative about him because they don't bend the knee, because they told him no. So now you got to go to jail. Mortgage fraud. I don't even know how many felonies he has for that. He's going after Letitia James for it.
Comey.
Yeah. And recently I was just reading that he could be facing another mortgage fraud because he has 3 properties in Florida. He has listed all 3 of them as his primary residency. That is absolute mortgage fraud.
Yeah, I mean, at least like, do one in New York and one in Florida.
Right. And then his spending, it was Biden spent this much. It's out of control. Obama's spending this, he's making the country poor, yada, yada, yada. Except we all know that he is spending at a hugely accelerated rate than they were. And here's some numbers to take into account. There's $170 billion that is available for ICE and Border Patrol, $40 billion to Argentina, $1 billion for a refurbished jet, $230 million trying to get compensation from his lawsuit to the DOJ. $200 million
frivolous lawsuits for against
$200 million for Noam's two jets, and $98 million in his golf outings. But there's $0 available for universal health care. It's not really about affording it. It's about their priorities and agendas, because they ultimately don't care about anyone other than themselves. They were all about free speech, and now they're attacking free speech. If it's not in their favor, they're trying to silence those. And like the cancel culture and culture wars, they were bitching about, they're trying to stop this and that, and now they're doing it. And I was watching this video the other day from James Tallarico, who I thought he kind of said it best, just to put things into perspective. 1% of America is trans. They're not trying to silence anyone. 1% of America is Muslim. They're not trying to cut or defund schools. 1% of America is undocumented. They are not trying to take away anyone's health care. None of these people are making tax cuts for their rich friends. The only minority destroying America are the billionaires. Perfect metaphor for this that he said of what is going on is people on the third class deck knew before the people on the first class deck sipping champagne that the Titanic was sinking.
Yeah, they were locked in. No, really good. Really, really, really good. Really good. I like Tellerico.
So that was just some points that I wanted to make, and now we can get into the NWO of you can call it Trump's Board of Peace is what it's being called. And some of the keynotes to that are he would permanently be the chair of that board.
Yep.
And some of the people who is in it already are Middle Eastern monarchs, man known as Europe's last dictator, and at least one leader wanted for alleged war crimes. And he has invited...
Was that Trump?
He's invited Russia, China, Belarus, few European allies, and oil-rich Gulf states, former Soviet republics, and even the Pope all received offers to join the board for $1 billion.
Well, so the $1 billion, so they all received an invitation to become board members for the next 3 years. A $1 billion donation to it would give them a permanent seat on the board, as long as Trump decided not to use his power to be able to kick anybody that he wants off the board.
Yeah. Sounds like, once again, a president for sale.
Yeah.
So Israel, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Jordan, Qatar, Egypt, Turkey, Hungary,
those
Morocco,
were all the people that were on the stage
Paraguay,
with him.
and Vietnam have said yes.
Russia, and China. LeBron, or did you say
Vietnam?
Vietnam.
Oh.
Have said yes. Russia and China have not committed, and then France, the UK, Germany, Norway, Sweden have told them to fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you notice, the majority of those countries are, like we were saying earlier, not part of the UN. they're not part of NATO. It's almost like he's planning for us to get booted, and then he's going to, try to do business with all these other. I mean, a lot of them you could consider third world countries.
What happened to the "Make America Great, Do America First" and the isolation?
Oh, you believe that?
No, I told you, dude. Red grains don't taste like cherries to me.
Yeah.
So no, it's really interesting, but very Trumpish, right? Like maybe they'll give out a prize every year, and like his golf championships, he'll just happen to win them all the time.
Oh yeah.
So maybe that'll happen. So definitely some interesting. I'll tie this up with if you get a chance, you should definitely check out the public testimony from Jack Smith today. I was going to go
yeah.
in depth,
in
but
there for
naming names.
Dude, not naming names, but standing strong, like bold to put him on the stand publicly, but completely gagged. So they made sure Eileen Cannon said that he couldn't discuss either investigation or anything that could be in the investigation. And Jack Smith, being the man of great integrity that he is, isn't going to do it because he believes in the law and he stands for the law.
And Fox News is already trying to spin it, saying that his testimony alone today is what's going to make the case against him.
Yeah. So and then I'll close it with some local. So Carmel High School down here in Indianapolis. So Carmel is located in I do believe, I've never fact checked this, but they talk about it up there all the time. The third wealthiest county per capita in the country.
I think that's pretty close.
Yeah, it's like the northwest side of Indy, right?
No, north. It's due north, but it's Eli Lilly money coming out the ears, bro, and then Colts players, Pacer players,
So is Pacers north or south of Carmel?
Northeast.
Okay.
So east of Carmel.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
it sits in the same county then.
Oh, okay.
So, but
they're definitely.
I will agree.
Both of those.
So their high school has 7 Olympic swimming pools. Maybe it's 7 cafeteria. I'm wrong. 7 cafeterias.
Cafeterias, yeah.
7 cafeterias that have like real restaurants in them.
Wow.
Yeah, like Chick-fil-A restaurants.
Yes, like have real restaurants in them. 4 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Like it's bougie. I like some restaurants up there that are right by the school. Like it looks like a D1 college campus.
Yeah. That's what most people talk about it as. It is a college campus.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the moral of the story is, Tuesday, the kids
walked out, right?
They staged a walkout, protesting ICE because ICE is actually starting to become active down here again. And the principal, being a good educator, met with the protest organizers and they worked it out.
Yep.
Like you need to have your parents call in and excuse absence. They didn't do it till 2:20 in the afternoon, which only left them with 1 class. So they attended all of their other classes. He sent out an email to the teachers and staff in the school. Well, the cherry and blueberry crayon eaters have gotten a hold of that on Twitter, and now they're blasting it all over the place that this is what we mean about indoctrination. He organized it with them. He did this. And I'm like, really? Like, well, why would he do this? And I'm just like, what? So, and one of them was the Libs of TikTok, who is one of the pedo binder participants. She got a hold of the pedo binder. I can't stand that woman. But so she blasted it. That's how it gained its popularity, because she is a super popular cherry crayon eater. But I did comment on our Bluebird and said, whoa, that happened because that's how schools operate. I know you're part of the fucking moron club, so school isn't really a topic y'all are well versed on. Also, the third wealthiest county in America per capita. You fucking people are a complete miserable disgrace.
Yeah.
Like, and they are miserable at this point. Like, and the worst part is the hypocrisy. So now you fully participate in cancel culture
Yeah.
and you hated cancel culture. And then the president flicks off an auto worker. And now you're mad that a post office worker flipped off ICE.
Right.
So, and it wasn't even JJ.
They got their yeah.
Um,
They got their feelings hurt.
they do. They're the softest, most sensitive, insecure beta fucking people on this planet. And what I have noticed is they do have that 1-2% that pretty elf kind of dangerous. Those are the ones peeling away faster than anybody.
Yeah.
Because
I
I
did
think that they're
so
start
the jolly good ginger that I follow, he used to be in an
he's fucking
intelligence.
hilarious.
He's
Naval
great. So
intelligence.
he even said something, one of his videos he put on his page yesterday about he's noticing that there are more and more Marines separating from, he goes, because they're not fucking pussies.
Correct. Because that's
Yeah.
what it is. You insecure people, insecure men, when you're not an insecure man, are very, very, very abrasive to you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I just thought it's interesting that Carmel is getting National Cherry Crayon Eater, so,
Yeah.
and that their alphas are leaving because y'all are just a bunch of soft bitches. Like, you got they go to the Minneapolis and they're independent journalists and they got all the gear on, but they don't even have the plates and the plate carriers, and they're walking around with their camera and they're jumping in the middle of this giant left protest, and then they're getting pinned up against a wall and surrounded, and they look like a deer in headlights and they think they're gonna die, and it's
And
like
they all
they're
wear
like,
masks,
we
but
were
I thought
assaulted by the left.
they all wear masks, but I thought we didn't wear masks.
they come on, dude. It's good for you. It's good for me. So, but yeah, until next week, we're gonna watch Greenland host the New World Order, and Carmel High School students are gonna show up. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Do your taxes.
Do
Get
your
your deduction.
taxes.
Do your deductions while they last. So I will try to remember to put all those articles, okay, guys, in the comment section of the
There's
YouTube
like
video.
30 of them.
Yeah, I
So
can't put them in the
None of
comment
us are
section of.
surprised.
I cannot put them in the comment section of the Apple and Spotify. It doesn't allow that many characters, but I will. I
um
will.
one thing I will ask is that for anybody listening, if you guys are doing anything on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that that has anything to do with politics, go ahead and throw either our hashtag Bluebird on your shoulder or at us, and
Yeah,
we
for
will
sure.
we'll hop in there and support your argument and bring in the facts.
And for the locals, enjoy your snowstorm this weekend.
Enjoy your ice.
Oh, I see what
Not,
you punny.
not, yeah, not the soldiers.
I see what you
The
punnied.
ice that's going to make the road slippery.
And
We're
I
not
and I'm
getting that
sorry
up
for
here.
JJ again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I slips on ice.
I feel for
Aha.
you.
Yeah. Till next time, Bluebird on your shoulder.
Yeah.